What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Niner Sickness Podcast. I am your host, Niner Beto, with a great podcast today. We have a great crew in the house. We have three guests, might be four, but for now, we have three exciting guests. Many of you already know my guest. They don't need no introduction. We're going to talk 49er football. We're going to freestyle a little bit today. We're going to talk OTAs, quarterback. We're going to talk about the secondary and the defense, and we're going to have some fun right after this. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Let me bring my first guest. This guy has his own channel. Great guy, man. Always love talking with him. Everybody knows Pete from Niners Fanatic Podcast. What's up, Pete? Let's go.
What's going on, Beto? Appreciate you having me on, bro.
Good. I'd love to have you, man. And our next guest is barely starting his channel. He is David. He goes by David McNiner. We're going to support his channel and talk about a little bit about getting some viewers for him. How are you doing today, David?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. Get ready for another great show. And last but not least, the famous of all famous podcasters, Mr. Brian Batman Cole. How you doing, sir?
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me on. Beto, great introduction. Don't do too much and give me a bigger head than I already got. Everybody knows I got a big head. So I don't need any more of that. But I appreciate it. Really do. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're such a nice guy, bro. This guy, all of you guys are nice, but I don't think I've ever met someone as nice as Brian, bro. It's like nothing can piss him off. His wife might say different, but
That's all of our wives.
Yeah,
we've been doing streams a little bit. If you, David and me has been streaming for a little while now together, for maybe about over a year now, or close to a year. And there's definitely some words that I might get a little hot, but I try to keep it, like, remember, we're just having a friendly conversation. It's all fun. We're all here because we want to have a professional conversation, an adult conversation with other people who love football and the 49ers. So I appreciate you again for having me on.
you're welcome. That is so true, man. It's a bunch of guys having fun, and now it's not even limited to the guys. I see the women starting to come out. Tony, Brian's wife, is starting with her channel, and also started the Ladies of the Empire. I believe they're going to be on tomorrow. Why don't you give her a shout out, bro, and let all the ladies that are watching, like Laura Cat today, know about what's going on tomorrow with your wife's podcast.
Well, thank you very much. First off, shout out to Laura Cat. Great content, supporter. She's everywhere. If you've been in 49er chats, like sometimes a lot of us, we move from one content creator to the next, and we might do it between shows. We might do it right when the show ends. And Laura Cat is a great supporter. She's everywhere. And yes, there's going to be a show tomorrow. My wife, her name's Toni, with an I, not a Y. Because if you ever spell a Tony, it's supposed to be with a Y. That means you're a guy. That's kind of a joke there. But shout out to any of the women that's named with a Y. But no, that's one of those signatures my wife says is, hey, I got an I on my name. Remember, it's because I'm a girl. GIRL, right? So I'm like, hey, okay, I'll remember that. But yeah, they're going to have a show tomorrow, and they're going to have a great group of girls. She's put together a panel. And these are going to be, like girls that's always going to possibly come on. Sometimes they might not be able to make it, but there's always going to be a spot for them to come back. So if they can't make it one episode or two episodes, hey, there's still going to be a channel. and it's also like enough room for other girls. So if somebody like Laura Cat wants to ever jump on the panel, or somebody else out there that, I'm not, mentioning right now, hey, reach out to Tony or reach out to me, reach out to some of the girls on the panel, because this is what the show's about. It's about getting like some of the women out there that are the faithful. We like to call them, like the Niner Empire, the queens of the empire. And, it's just really fun, because sometimes, like I talk to my wife about sports all the time. And, it's fun because she goes back and forth with me a little bit. And then, at a certain point, it's like, okay, you've heard my opinion enough. So Tony wants to do the same thing like I'm kind of doing, and branch out, hear other people's opinions, be able to converse with other people, and just have fun, So there's Peachy, Crystal Brown. She's off of the Wayne Breezy show. She's off of Nothing But Niners. She's great content. Great supporter of the channel. Then we have Niners Jess, who also has a East Coast Red and Gold podcast channel. She's great. Bex from East Coast Red and Gold is also going to be joining the episode and will be a regular contender. Regular commentator, regular guest. Dina Harvey, who's in everybody's chat. I mean, I got to know Dina a couple months ago with Corey Davis's channel. She was able to come on and do the weekly pick'ems with us. And she's funny, she's smart, she knows a lot about football. And shout out to her. She's a 49er faithful in the state of Philadelphia. So I really, really admire her. And then, we have Gina repping the Bay. She's going to be coming on. So Tony's got a great panel. She really does. And these girls are, almost all of them have their own YouTube channels. They aspire to have their own YouTube channels. So what Tony wants to do is help build everybody's platform, and hers as well. So this is a show right now that's happening twice a week. If it starts taking off, it's going to be the second episode. So if it starts taking off, then maybe it'll be like every week. But for right now, it's a slower, part of the season, and the girls are having a lot of fun coming on. So please check them out tomorrow. I think it's going to be at 5:15 California time. So yeah, definitely check us out. Thank you, Beto.
No problem. Pete, I want to ask you, man, before we get started, I want you to introduce yourself and let people know what you got going on your channel. I like to do it in the beginning of the podcast instead of at the end, because a lot of times people leave. So I like to catch everybody fresh. If we get boring, they leave. So let them know what you got going on your channel, brother.
Well, once again, thank you for having me on today, Beto, and really excited to be on a show with Bryant. Bryant, I've been in the chat on my show a few times, and David, I've seen him around on Wolf's show and a couple other shows. So I'm excited to be here. But I have my show on YouTube. You can get it on YouTube. You can get it on Twitter. You can get it on Facebook. You can get it anywhere where you can get your audio podcast. I don't care how you get it, just get it. But it's Niner Fanatic Podcast. And basically, if you just Google Niner Fanatic Podcast, it'll pop up. I guarantee it. So just come on through, and we just talk Niner football. And it's I kind of base a lot of my show upon really just the news, the basic news that's going on with the Niners. But then I like to get my own spin on it. I like to get my chat involved. And we just kind of wade through the media, a lot of the media nonsense to get to the actual what's going on. So if you're interested in that type of content, please come and join us, join the community.
Yeah, there's a phrase you use, bro. I love it. I've been tempted to use it myself, but I don't like to copycat no one, so I don't. But I have to catch myself not to do it in the moment of just introducing or myself. But and I don't know exactly how it goes. Something about tell a friend to tell a friend, so we can become friends.
Yeah, so I say, hey, make sure that you tell a friend to tell a friend so that we can be friends every day and every week.
I love it, bro. That's a catchy little phrase there, bro. And I said it stays in my ear.
Shout out to Biggie.
Biggie. Oh, okay. Yeah, so right on, Biggie.
I was going to ask, is that a spinoff of the Pat McAfee show? Because I hear him too, he'll be like, sub a friend.
Does he say that?
He says, be a friend, tell a friend to sub a friend, and I heard Steve-O start saying it, and I was like, and I've heard it before, so then I was listening to Pat the other day, but he doesn't say it like how you say it. So you say, tell someone to be a friend so we can become friends. So I was just wondering if there was any spin from that, but.
Yeah, I'm old. So Stop
it, you're younger than me, bro.
Notorious B.I.G. he which song was that? Big Papa. Song Big Papa. He says, hey, like big, I think it's Puffy that actually says it in the middle of the song. It's like hey, tell your friends that to be like, I can't even remember how the lyric goes now. Tell a friend to be friend, and then we can be friends every single weekend. But I just kind of took it off of that.
There you go. Hey, David, how you doing, my friend? David's just starting his channel. I don't know if you have gone live yet on your channel or not, but he's starting to put it together. He's been a long time listener to a lot of our podcasts, great supporter in the comments. And I don't know who encouraged you to be a podcaster yourself, and whoever did, I'm grateful that they inspired you, bro, because I believe you have a lot to offer. Let us know what's going on in your show, what's going to be going on in your show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm actually hoping to release my first video this upcoming Saturday.
Oh, okay.
So that's my plan. And I'm not going to give away what it's going to be. Y'all are just going to have to tune in and find out.
I like it. I like it.
But when it comes down to it, I'm going to be on with Bryant every Monday. Monday evening, we have a great guest every Monday. There's always going to be someone. Saturday and Sunday with coffee talk at 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And then, Friday night is the Hangout stream, which is kind of an NFL variety show on No Border Sports. So that's primarily what I'm doing right now. And I do go on Corey Davis, and we have a 49ers trivia going on right now. He has a crazy book.
Yeah, Corey. Shout out to my boy Corey, man. If you don't know who Corey is, man, Corey Davis is an amazing guy. He's like a 1A to 1B with Brian. They're just like the nicest guys in the world. You can't, even if you try to be mean to them, it's hard, especially Corey. I don't know how anybody can be mean
Corey's
to Corey.
really nice
Corey's
guy.
so just such a nice guy, supportive guy.
Yeah.
And he has his channel doing his thing, and he does his trivia, man. Great guy. Please go and support him. I said, and I say this sincerely, if you have to stop supporting me and unsub from me and go sub him, I take that as a win, because he's such a true gentleman. He's a gentleman and a scholar, man. I love Corey. Great heart, man. So go support him, man. Go check out his channel, and that'll be awesome. I just want to say hello to a couple people that are just popped in. Bebop's in the house. We got Crazy Jews. We said hello to Laura Cat, Tony Cope, the better half, the smarter one, and definitely the better looking one of the Copes family. She's more entertaining videos on her, especially on TikTok, bro, than you are, bro. So you got to learn. Are you learning from her, Bryant? He knows not to
Hey,
speak when she's
she's actually got a great video on her YouTube channel about ALS. And if you haven't seen it, please go watch it.
about what again?
ALS.
Really?
Yes.
My mom had
Yep.
that. Yeah.
You know, so when you first start out, like you work through the kinks and the little glitches and stuff like that. So she had tried to put it out once, and it was really bad. And everything's like time and trial. So we've upgraded our internet, we've done better microphones, better camera. But she put together a really great ALS video, and it's really sad that a lot of players do end up getting ALS. But what's really sad is we don't have the awareness for it, and It's not just players, it's regular people. So you don't have to even play sports at all, it's in your genes. So that's what really she brought to my attention. So if you haven't Googled it, maybe take a moment, Google the disease, and it's real, and it's just as bad as cancer, it's just as bad as Alzheimer's.
Oh yeah, it deteriorates your muscles.
Yeah. So
yeah.
But she wants
muscular dystrophy is what my mom had. I'm sorry, not, but same kind of disease, terrible diseases.
Exactly. But yeah, she wants to put positive videos out, and this is a positive video, but it's like an awareness video. So she still is positive in it, but she wants to get information out. And that's what she wants to do, is put videos out there like that, and also have a cool panel to be able to come on and talk with the girls. And she's been doing shorts, and they're funny. So if you've been able to see any of her shorts, she's just being funny. She's not taking any political stance or saying one player should start over the other. She's being funny. So, if you like a nice chuckle, she's a lot funnier than I am and better looking. So check her out.
Yeah, check her out. I love what she's doing with the women, ladies of the Empire. I really like that because more women should can talk about the Niners or the sport they love. My wife says it or something. I'm always like, man, every time I tune into a podcast, is not that she has nothing against guys, but when I told her that this woman podcast started, she's like, I'm tuning in because she likes to hear about her Niners, but she likes to get a woman perspective of what they see or how they see football through a woman's perspective. So it's nice to have a different flavor than just a male's perspective. So right on for Tony for putting that together. And if you encourage her, and I got to say this is not me kissing butt, and it's going to sound like it, so be it, but I've never had the opportunity to see a couple like the Hopes to come on here, talk football, and come out and do their podcast together and support one another, man. That's awesome. It's good to see because not a lot of spouses. I don't know about you, David, but I know Pete's married, I'm married, but our spouses don't want to come on talk about football. She loves Niners, but she's not like me about football. She'll talk about makeup and she'll talk about other stuff, but for your wife to come out here and do the football thing, bro, that's a pretty good thing to see.
Well, I really appreciate that. And first off, she's been one of my best friends like my entire life. I've known her since I was like 12. So, yeah, we have a lot of fun together. We play football and talk football and, yeah, all that good stuff, right? But she's a girl and I'm a guy, and there's certain things. But we grew up, got married.
I haven't noticed, but thank you for letting us know.
We've had a great life together. Had nice family, and I'm like, hey, this is something that I kind of wanted to do a YouTube channel, but I wanted to do something that was like kind of funny or kind of maybe like what everybody else has got, but in my own way, right? Because I tell my own jokes. I'm my own person. And real quick, I know this, taking up a lot of time, but like I have a garage and I was like, we're going to do like a podcast in my garage, and then the next thing I knew, I started calling into like people's like your show and Corey Davis's, and I'm on my phone and I'm like, we already have a laptop, but I'm not quite ready there yet. I have the space, I have the area, not quite there yet. So like somebody like David right here who kept pushing me, and like Wolf, shout out to Wolf. Thank you, Pete, for, because when you say their name, they hear it, and Wolf is one of those, great guys. And I get him to come on my channel every once in a while. He's kind of like my other Robin. I got David and Wolf, and they can both be Robins. I said Batman first, so I get to drive. But no, I've had a lot of fun, and it's something fun. And then she wants to come on and do stuff. And like what David had said, like with No Border Sports, we have like a variety show on Friday where we come on, and it's been expanding. It's football, but we've been doing more and more, and we're trying to have like good jokes, good panel, good conversation. There's been like a news segment that we just kind of started. It needs a lot of work, but I tried really hard. And, it's something that we're just having fun. Like me and Tony's been putting together like, I'm not gonna say prop gags or anything like that, but if you haven't seen the show, go check out the show. There's Moody Juice, there's Hufunga shampoo. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, we've been definitely having fun, and neither one of us is really like shy. Tony and me are both like very open, and if you see us out there in public, like definitely wave because we'll say hi back. So thank you, Beto.
No problem. Terradome is one of the guests that I was going to have on too, but he was doing a guest with someone else. So he's going to be popping in momentarily to join us as I get ready to bring him on. Pete, let's talk football. Let's talk a little bit Niner football, right. OTAs, second week of OTAs, whether people are Team Trey or Team Brock. Brock sounds like he's ready to come back. He's ahead of schedule.
He's throwing.
He's throwing, yeah. So I want to get your thoughts, all of you guys, and we'll start with Pete, and then we'll go with David, and then Bryant. What are your thoughts on the whole quarterback situation from your perspective? Not what people are saying or what are we hearing from Twitter? What's your perspective on the whole quarterback situation?
I mean, I've been saying it for a minute now that I think the 49ers are in a really, as frustrating as it is for fans, they're in a really good situation because they think that they have their guy in Brock, in which he could be the guy. Then you've got Trey Lance, who has all the measurables, who it looks like is improving as we go along here, and then you've got Sam Darnold, who would probably be a starter on some team as our third string. So either way you look at it, we've got a starter at all three spots, and that's the way I'm looking at it. I think that I'm still a believer in Trey. I think that he deserves a shot. I think he was brought here for a specific reason. I don't think that anybody planned it to go the way that it has. It's unfortunate for Trey, but it's great for Brock, and it's great for 49er fans. The fact that we have Brock, who put a great 8 games together and showed us some of the best football that we've seen, the quarterback play that we've seen in a while, for the 49ers. I'm all about it. The way I look at the situation is that, to me, it doesn't matter. I would assume that it's going to either be Brock or Trey, but it's good to have Sam Darnold as a backup just in case break the glass.
Exactly. Welcome, Terradome. So we're just going around the circle now. Oops, I got to change the names on here. Real quick, David, what's your thoughts on the quarterback situation?
Well, first things first, I support the team on the front,
Mm-hmm.
them right there. And it's a may the best QB win. Trey Lance, we did invest a lot in him to just sit him on the bench and not see what he can do. When it comes to Brock Purdy, we've seen 8 games. I honestly don't feel it's enough, because like the James Richard Garoppolo situation, we saw 5 games and then all of a sudden they signed him to a big contract, which at that time it was a big contract. and so it's just too premature to say Brock Purdy is our franchise quarterback. He might be our best option right now, but we still don't know if he's even going to be able to be ready week 1. So may the best QB win.
Exactly. Your thoughts, Bryant?
The overall quarterback situation, it's really gotten to a point where it's just, I guess it's always been this way, right? I'm a little bit, I'm going to say just a tad bit younger than everybody here, but not much. I'm 36, and I know that Steve Young and Joe Montana, had a lot of scrutiny, but the thing was we didn't have the social media that we have nowadays. So now
Mm-hmm.
everybody gets to put their opinion in instead of just like writing to the newspaper editor or talking to their friends or somebody at the bar. Now everybody can post something and like what I write or what Terradome writes, and Terradome's in the South. I get to see it in California, right? I talk to people in Australia. It's not in Wales, so it's like now the world's gotten smaller and everybody's opinions has gotten larger. So, it's one of those things. It's like, you say, okay, we got Brock Purdy and he was the Mr. Irrelevant. We paid nothing for him, but we've gotten almost everything out of him. Then you say, okay, we traded up the world for Trey Lance, but he hasn't gotten his opportunities, right? Well, that's not necessarily true. He's gotten hurt. Oh, but he didn't run the Jimmy offense. Or, he doesn't have all the players Jimmy had. Wait, I thought we were like building a team so we could evolve. Like Trey Lance came out with a gun. So we were changing our running backs. We've changed our wide receivers. So Trey Lance can evolve the team, right? The team can go in from being a West Coast offense to being a shoot and gun, where we're going to go deep, 4 wide. Everybody's running 4 wide. Just because the guy can throw 80 yards doesn't mean that's what we wanted to do, but that's what the fans seem to want to do. The fans don't want to run the ball. The fans want to score real quick. So it's really funny because it sounds like the fans are being pushed by the NFL and all the media and the way the league's changing, just because everybody else in the league is saying, pass, 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 and offenses win championships, I disagree. I say defenses can win championships, and if we run the ball, we can just be just like the 2000 Ravens. We can be better than that. There's been a lot of opportunities where the Niners, sure, nobody wants to see the Niners just run the ball the entire time. They want to know that the Niners have the ability to go over top and do that. But when, I mean, how many of us here was mad when we seen, Jimmy Garoppolo have like a 14 play drive, take 15 minutes off the clock, and 15 minutes, right? We went into the next quarter before the other team got the ball. So, I mean, if you're winning because you have the ball the entire time, I just want a Super Bowl. So I don't care who the quarterback is. And at the end of the day, you put Sam Darnold up there. I'm going to support him 100% as well, because it's not my choice. It's the coaches. They're a lot, more proficient in this. They're skilled. They look at stuff more than they do. I look at drywall all day. I look at paint, so like, come and talk to me about that. And then, I can show you where I'm skilled at. But for like the football situation, I'm just a novice, I'm just a modest fan, with an opinion. And honestly, I said it last year, the Niners defense is good enough to take us to the Super Bowl. And they were. They were. We got a couple of injuries at the end, and that was our hiccup. So it didn't really matter. We had 3-4 different quarterbacks last year. And if we would have lost our fourth quarterback and started having a running back play quarterback, then we might have won that game. I don't know if we would have won the Super Bowl, but we would have got to the Super Bowl. That's my thoughts, Beto. I think no matter who we put back there, we have a good shot.
Absolutely. Tear it on. I don't know how you're going to follow that from Brian, but give it a shot, bro. What's your thoughts on the quarterback situation?
I will try. I apologize for my tardiness. I was over at Real Talk, Nana Talk, just acting up, cutting the fool. I said, man, I got to get with Beto. The Beto done call me. I got to go.
No, I appreciate it, brother.
Hey, we are, we're incredibly blessed. We have a quarterback we chose number 3 overall 3 years ago, who has traits and who has potential and who has an upside and a ceiling. Unfortunately, he ran into some injuries. We had a quarterback which we knew what he was, and we already seen his ceiling. We seen the best of Jimmy, kind of like a album that you do at the end of your career. You put out the best of after you have no new material, and that was in Jimmy G, and he's gone, dude. Every now and again, you run up on somebody who everybody kind of counted out. Everybody thought that, oh, he's the last kid to get picked. He can't play. And, he's not going to do well on Star Search, or he looks small or whatever. And the kid gets in there and belts it out. And he scorches everybody at the court. And he takes your team, who you had all of these wonderful weapons, makes it better, and makes it run at an efficiency, which is roughly going from 24.6 points per game up to 33.5. This kid does stuff that I've been watching football since, and Beto can attest, man, since 1975 in the Steelers. I watched Terry Bradshaw. I watched the Oakland Raiders back in the day, and then the Dallas Cowboys and Roger Staubach. And I've been following football, man, for a long time. And for a kid to come in cold as a rookie and be looking people off and staring down blitzes and changing plays and getting elusive and making the others around him better than they were before. George Kittle's production as a tight end went from 11 games with Jimmy G, which was a total of 4 touchdowns. He had 7 with Brock Purdy. Brandon Ayuk didn't have 1,000-yard season since he's been in the league. And then all of a sudden, this kid shows up. His yards per catch average goes up, and he's finally at 1,000 yards a game. Um, I went back and looked at Debo because I said, well, it can't be all that good because Debo really didn't get off. Man, do y'all realize Debo got hurt against Tampa Bay and missed 3 games? He was doing that without Debo Samuels. He did that in Seattle without Debo. He did that for the second half without Tampa in Tampa Bay. He did it without Debo against the Commanders, and then Debo had to get spun up. He was finally Debo in the playoffs. In the playoffs, third
Mhm.
time playing the Seattle Seahawks, he goes up and put 41 on them. Now, we were looking for a 40 burger for a long time and not having our hearts in our throats with Jimmy G, everything coming down to Robbie Gold's kick at the end. But when this kid got in, hey, it was like, hey, it's over with, man. He's gonna scorch y'all. He just done took on Tom Brady in the Levi Stadium, and the people weren't chanting Tom, Tom, Tom. They were chanting Purdy, Purdy, Purdy. 28 unanswered in the first half. He got something different with him, man. He just got something. He got the French call it a je ne sais quoi. I don't know
Yes,
what it is.
sir.
He got something that he just done bottled up some lightning. His form and his aesthetic is just what it's supposed to be. I look at Tom House, I look at JT O'Sullivan, I look at all of these guys. Shout out Johnny Dales. Man, that form, he's got that right hand over that right foot. He's got that high elbow, and he is releasing that rock at the last possible second and getting it into places. He's hitting a gnat in the ass at 20 or 30 yards. I, I, that's all we've been looking for, and that's all Kyle's been looking for. There's a wonderful movie called Air out now. It's the soundtrack is killer. Beto, the soundtrack is just killer, man. It's set in 1984, and it's the story of Sonny Vaccaro and the Nike Corporation, which were third or fourth at the time, trying to sign Michael Jordan. And it took Sonny Vaccaro looking at some tape, and what he did was look at everything around Michael Jordan as a freshman at UNC. Everybody else just saw, yeah, he hit the game winner at UNC. He's about to come in the draft, but no big deal. Everybody saw it. He said, "No, man, look at everything around him. This is Dean Smith's." Everybody said he couldn't win the big one, and the man was James Worthy. I remember back in those days. I'm living in Virginia. I saw UNC all day. The man was James Worthy. The man was not Brad Daugherty. I'm sorry, Sam Daugherty
Sam
or
Sam Perkins.
Sam Perkins. The
Yeah.
man, they were them. It's a land of giants. But he looked at Dean Smith trusting this freshman. He said they ran that play for Jordan, and look how relaxed he is. He's about to take the biggest shot of his life at 18 years old. Dean Smith trusts him, not James Worthy, not Sam Perkins. He's going to him, and look how relaxed he is. Look at everything around him, and he just shoots it like, I do this all day. He said it's something different about this guy. It's something different about this guy, man. He's got something. You're not supposed to do that young in your life. You're not supposed to be that relaxed. Either he's incredibly stupid and doesn't realize how big this moment is and how everything depends on it, or we're looking at probably one of the greatest that ever did it. We need to get all in on I think his name's Mike Jordan. That's what I'm saying about this kid, Brock Purdy. It's something I see different that's ancillary. He trusts him with the plays. He trusts him to change the plays. He trusts him. Everything is riding on this. Uh, Kyle Shanahan knows he's under the gun. He's got to deliver. That is Bill Walsh's shadow you're in. Those are those five. He walks by those 5 Super Bowls every day. He's not just making decisions based on, who I like or who I don't think is good or nothing like that. He's got to feel comfortable, and he's a hard guy to trust a rookie. We've seen rookie after rookie come in here. He won't even let him touch the ball. He won't even let him on the field. If Kyle Shanahan's trusting this dude and putting everything on this dude, man, they see lightning in a bottle. I think Trey he's retooled himself. He had some hitches in the giddy up in terms of bringing that ball down low in his wind up, the death move below his waist to get it up. He's cleaned that up a bit. He's got a tighter release, shorter stride, and he's generating his power from the ground up with his shoulder waist differential, and it's coming out a little bit more consistent and everything. But dudes, when the real bullets start flying, are you going to be able to deliver? Are you going to be able to change and get out of plays? Is Kyle going to trust you with the playbook? And we got fans that are saying, let's just change the whole 49er philosophy and stop running slide concepts and stop running deep overs and stop running. Let's just go full vertical because Trey's got a big arm. Let's run outside. Let's do this. You're changing the anatomy of what makes Kyle good. But here we got this kid who has taken Kyle's plan and made it as efficient and good as it has by any quarterback that we've seen going back to 2017. That includes Nick Mullins. That includes C.J. Beathard. That includes Jimmy Garoppolo. That includes Trey Lance, who was a rookie 2 years ago. 2 years removed from a rookie. This kid's just got it. Now, if Trey can come in there and outdo that, go ahead and I'll rock with Trey like it ain't nobody's business because I ain't got no other team but the San Francisco 49ers. You see it behind me. You know of the wins. I've been down for a long time and I will not change. But give me the most efficient, accurate, nimble quarterback to operate this Kyle Shanahan system. And I say right now, even with his injury, if the doctors sign off on this guy and he's good and he feels comfortable, man, we're looking at, I feel, the second best quarterback in the NFC.
Interesting. And just to say, Terradome, respectfully, I think you're going to give Brian competition on this show with a long-winded comments. I love it. I love the passion. I love the fire.
I got to get it out. I
got you, bro. I got you.
I shouldn't have went with the air story. I think that's a spoiler alert or whatever. But such a great movie.
To the point of listen, I know I have that tattoo of the 49ers logo in my hand on my arm. I don't have Brock Purdy. I don't have Trey Lance. I don't have Joe Montana, Steve Young. Everybody has their favorites. Everybody has those players they follow and love. And there's nothing wrong with loving a certain player and supporting a certain player. But at the end of the day is which player gives the best opportunity for my team to win the Super Bowl. And whatever it takes to get to that should be the ultimate goal. And I know on Twitter, a lot of 49er fans have been going at each other, Team Trey or Team Brock. If you love Brock, you hate Trey. If you love Trey, you hate Brock. And they even made it racial at one point, and I'm like, come on, guys, listen. I don't know what Trey has to offer. I don't know if he's going to come in this year and totally take command and run with this. We don't know, but we have seen an example of what Brock has done. I'm a Team Trey guy coming out of college. I wanted him to be drafted, but once I saw Brock Purdy do what he did, come in as a 7th round pick, the last pick of the draft. Listen, there has been never a quarterback taken in the 7th round that has ever thrown a pass. Forget about touchdowns, forget about winning, that has never even thrown one pass in the NFL during the existence of the NFL. And this kid comes in, not only does he accomplish that, but he wins every game that he did not get hurt in. And he's poised. He's confident. He knows how to read defenses. He's doesn't panic under duress. Defenders coming in his face, and he's watching the receivers, and he's delivering the ball to Kittle, like in the game against Miami. I mean, to come off, can you imagine? See, people we see Brock come in, right? And everybody's like, okay, but people don't. If you ever play football, and you're at the bottom of the pole, okay, you're looking at these guys like way up here, like here, and you're way down here. To come in because the second quarterback gets hurt against a team that you grew up loving, and the Dolphins, that's enough pressure within itself. But to come in as a seventh rounder, I mean, the best thing he wanted to do, he wanted to make sure he didn't stink it up at the very least. But to come in and to play the way he played, people were reporting he looked like a freaking pro, like a 7-year vet or a 3-year vet out there. The poise. So does he have the long arm? No. Can he throw those deep balls? No. But this whole dink and dunk thing, I think is just funny that people just want to bring up conversations to be able to get clicks or whatever it is. And more power to anybody that does it. If it works, it works. But at the end of the day, I don't care the dink and dunks. I don't care whether he can throw the deep or not. How many games did we win with Brock? And not only did we win, we won convincingly. We put up a lot of points that we haven't put up in a long time. This kid was able to come in and drive this offense. Now, listen, it might not work with other teams. It won't work in Kansas City. It won't work in Cincinnati or even Buffalo. But under Kyle's system, you don't need to be a Patrick Mahomes type of quarterback. You just got to be able to not to make limit the mistakes. Don't throw the ball over. Don't throw those interceptions at crucial moments, and just deliver the ball to your playmakers. You have the scheme is set up for Deebo Samuel. The scheme is set up for McCaffrey, for Kittle to do their thing. Brandon, the scheme is set up for them to flourish. Your job is to make sure to get the ball to them and not screw it up at the most crucial point in the game. And that's what Brock did. And not only did he do it, but he flourished in it. So do I want Trey to show that he can do something? Yes. But I'm comfortable with Brock stepping in if Trey is not the guy. And at the end, and I'll end this with this. People always come at me, but we gave up 3 number ones for Trey. If Brock wins you a Super Bowl, you ain't going to give a shit about those 3 number ones once that Lombardi trophy is hosted and you get the number. I'm telling you, you're not. The same people that are crying about the 3 number ones will not care if Brock can help your team win a Super Bowl. So, am I giving up on Trey? No. Do I want Trey to succeed? Yes. I want the best player out there. Iron sharpens iron. So let them sharpen each other. But if Brock is the guy, I'm glad that my coach, our coach, is not afraid to put in a 7th rounder over a number 1 overall pick in the first round. And Kyle's not pressured. Oh my God, I gave up 3 number ones. What am I doing? He don't give a rip. If Brock gives him a chance to win and execute his style of offense, that's who he's going with. So enough with the quarterback. Let's and we're going to keep our comments a little bit because there's a lot of us on here. We'll start with Pete again. Defense. I just want one player I want to specifically talk about. Your thoughts on Drake Jackson. If he becomes the beast that we need him to be, how good is this front four going to be in 2023? And as a complete defense, could this be a historical defense this year?
I mean, it could. I think that they were number 1 defense last year. So the fact that you just add on a Javon Hargrave, the fact that you just add in, what's his last name? Isaiah
Oliver.
Isaiah Oliver. The fact that you add in like a true nickel, and I love Jimmy Ward to death, but he's not a nickel. He wasn't a nickel. He shouldn't have been playing in the nickel.
He didn't like the way it is.
And he didn't, because he was out of position. He knew
Yep.
it. He played there before, and he didn't like it.
And Isaiah
And
thrives at the nickel.
he's going to thrive in that nickel spot. The fact that you have those two upgrades right there, from what I'm hearing, Diamador Lenore is being very aggressive in OTAs, and which I love the mentality. I think that Wilkes is going to bring a different mentality for the secondary, which is much needed. I think that they still have their linebacker coach, and then they still got Chris Kasurik, who is the best defensive line coach in the league. So I don't think there's any fall off. I think they only get better. And the fact that they were number one last year, Drake Jackson he can be really good. He can be if we can just get him to be really good. He don't have to be great.
Good
if
point.
we can just
Good
get him
point.
to be, because there is a spectacular they have depth. They're gonna have it's gonna be a rotation regardless. He's not gonna play 3 downs. So it's gonna be a rotation, and the rotation is what matters. I think that the fact that they brought in a couple of speed guys, and not that I think Robert Beal is gonna get much playing time this season, but the fact that they brought in some speed guys to throw some curveballs in there, I think is a thing to look at as well. But the defense overall, I mean, you got your linebackers. I mean, how many linebackers they got in camp? I think they got like 8 linebackers right now, and all of them would probably be starting on somebody's team.
Yeah.
That. I mean, if you really look at the talent level of this linebacker group, even in the secondary, you look at that talent level in the secondary. Our secondary is looking really good, but the defensive line specifically is so deep, and the fact that they're so well coached, the fact that you've got Bosa, now you've got Hargrave pushing the middle. I don't know what they're going to do with Kinlaw, because it looks like he lost a bunch of weight. I mean, you're not going to use him if he lost as much weight as it looks like he lost. I don't think he's going to be in the middle all the time. I think he's just going to be a part of the rotation now. But I just think that there's just so many variables and so many. I think that it's just going to be, we're just going to see it as it comes. And I know that people look at that Bosa we didn't have another 10 sack guy on the team last year other than Bosa. But I look at it as it's a rotation. You're not gonna get another because Bosa's the only one playing all 3 downs. The rest of them are rotating in and out. So it's really kind of hard to build that continuity in that fashion. But yeah, I think that the most we can ask is another 7 to 8 sack guy, other than maybe Hargrave. Hargrave may get to 10 sacks, and Eric Armstead may get to 10 sacks, because we all saw what happened last time when he had DeForest Buckner next to him. He flourished. So having that other person next to him that takes away a lot of the double teams, all that good stuff. I think that this is going to be. I think the sky's the limit for this defensive line. I think Javon Hargrave is such a massive upgrade in the middle that his presence isn't quite felt yet, and we're going to see it when the season starts. I think it's going to be really evident.
Absolutely. What's your thoughts, David?
Booyah!
Well, I have to start with, we're talking about the defense. Our new acquisition, Steve Wilkes. We've been so focused on the front 7 with our last 2 defensive coordinators. Now we bring in a guy that specializes in defensive backs. And, the last couple of years we've acquired guys like Talanoga, Hufanga. And, then we get, Travarius Ward. And now we found Gibson, which was a pleasant surprise. I've always liked him. He's a good player. And then now we're bringing in younger guys to work with Steve Wilkes. And our front 7's going to be fire, especially adding Hargrave to the mix. And then we got the unknown Khalil Davis. And that's something I'm actually looking forward to, because a lot of folks are pegging him as a DJ Jones type, but we don't know what he's going to be. And when it comes to Drake Jackson, he showed up with his NFL body. Last year, he played 15% of the snaps, had 8 batted balls and 3 sacks. You put him in for 40 to 45% of the snaps, we're looking at a 7 to 10 sack guy. How many batted balls is he going to have, though? I mean, having 8 in 15, he could easily lead the league. So I'm honestly hoping the kid doesn't just take a next step, he takes a jump.
Absolutely. What about you, Bryant?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, maybe it's my glasses. I know I've been looking down a lot at my phone, but wow, I'm really blurry. There you can see my beautiful face.
If you look down, I'm going to make you blurry, bro.
It happens. Not the first time it happens.
You're lucky.
But
You're lucky I don't rotate you upside down. There you go.
hey, you turn me upside down. Now we have a party.
Hey, you came out of your mouth, not mine.
You did it to me, buddy. No, I'm excited. I think the defense is going to be good, but I don't know if we're going to be as good. We did lose a lot of players, but I already said it. I think the defense is good enough to carry any of our quarterbacks, so I'm excited. And I'm sorry about the notifications. I'm trying to turn my phone off. I got so many people right now telling me their show's going on or saying hello. I tried to tell them where I'm at right now. If you notice, I've been in the comments saying a lot of stuff, so I look down a lot. I'm sorry.
I'm messing with you, bro.
Well, I messed back,
Corey said hello, though.
We're unmissable, right? Like unmissable, right? So, it's one of those fun things. But no, the defense is going to be good this year. It's hard to say if we're going to be as good because we did lose some of those depth players. But we'll just have to see. That's why you play the game, because those games that you're scared about, we might go and dominate. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you. What's your thoughts there, Teradome? On the defense,
I really like the fact that Drake's getting his grown man body, and David touched on it, man. We need batted balls. And that's a little bit of my reservation with Armstead. You need pause. Yeah, we need batted balls. We got some of the tallest defensive linemen in the game. I'm not sure if Armstead is the tallest at 6'7", but man, it's like having a Ferrari. You never put that thing on the road. I need you to knock down some of those, mesh concepts and the little dink and dunks, portraits. Those are gimmies. We got to get our hands up and knock some down. And that's what Drake does. Excited for the secondary, as Pete said. Man, I'm down here in Carolina. I watch Steve Wilkes, man. He talks the language of a secondary. He makes it real palatable for those guys to get it. You can have a horrible teacher and have a horrible subject for this teacher. I remember taking statistics, and I had a Indian guy, Mr. Singh, and he had such a thick accent. And man, I'm already lost in probability statistics. I don't know how many times 1,000 can roll on some dice, and there was this language, a barrier, and in college they just tell you, hey, you're gonna have to get past it. You're gonna have to learn. But this guy can make the complicated simplified for these guys. And trust me, we're going to get more press zone. We're going to do more elaborate robbers and thief, and even get down in some what's called burglar coverage when the free safety rolls down and the strong safety will go deep. We got some good additional pieces in the draft. I'm really excited about Jair Brown and Javon Hargrave coming. Man, another double-digit sack guy to complement Nick Bosa. Last year we were like, it was like Nick Bosa, which is David Ruffin and the Temptations. Those guys are single sack dudes. We need we need more Backstreet Boys and New Edition instead of this Huey Lewis in the news.
You speaking my language now.
So I know how to hit one of them there, Pete. Somebody's gonna,
yeah.
But it's good to have the compliment, man, and we got to get after the passes. So I'm feeling up. I'm feeling a good upside.
I love it. We're coming close to an hour. I don't like to keep my guests longer than that because I know that they have a lot of things to do. So I wanted to just ask you guys a simple question, and we'll go backwards. We'll start with Terradome, and we'll go to Bryant, and then David, and finish with Pete. I want to get your guys' thought on the offense. Who do you think is going to be that guy that needs to step up and really do their part if this team's going to go non-quarterback, of course, non-quarterback? Who's in a guy, in your opinion, that needs to step up and take it, if you will, put the team on their shoulders and run with it, so that we can get over the hump and make it and get our sixth ring? We'll start with you, Terradome.
In scat protection, which is 5 down linemen, I got to have a right tackle who will protect that right side and be a Pro Bowler. I think we got every weapon you can ask for in the NFL that allows the best at our skill positions. And I think we got a good trigger man, but we got to have better protection on that right side. If it's McKivitz, if it's Feliciano, if it's my boy Joey Fisher, I don't care who it is. Please give me a right tackle, because the left is solidified. You got the best tackle this side of Anthony Munoz, who was Beto. No, we about the same age. Who was regardless as the greatest right tackle, a left tackle ever. Anthony Munoz. We got an athlete and an all pro, a perennial all pro on that side, but we got to have a complement of it's like having a plane. You got a 747 wing on one side, but you got this daggone, I don't know, Cessna wing on the other side. When we had we had McGlinchey, just solidified the protection on that right side. We can't go around losing 2-3 quarterbacks a year, dude. 4 quarterbacks a year. We got to have that right side solidified, so it's menacing, and it gives resonance before we even get there. They're like, oh, that right tackle, he'll kill you. That's what I'm looking for. That
Right on. Bryant, what's your thoughts of what's that player on offense, a non-quarterback, that you think needs to step up and help carry this team on their shoulder?
I can't give you really like a defining player. I really can't, because at this point, like, I know what Terradone said about the offensive line, and not to cut what he said down, but didn't Brock Purdy was the only quarterback. Well, Johnson got injured too in the pocket, if you call his concussion that, but we had Trey running out, we had Jimmy running out, so they were out of the pocket. And I understand like the nuances. Maybe if the right guard held up better or the tackle held up better, maybe they would have been able to develop the pocket and throw a better pass or something. They wouldn't have had a bootleg out. But the way I understand with like what happened with Trey Lance is they did have an option to pass, and he decided to bootleg out. That was, I think Kyle said that was his decision, and he made the wrong decision. I think Kyle kind of threw him under the bus on that one. But I can't tell you like what a backup tight end. We have, we had Charlie Warner. He's supposed to be our blocking tight end. He wasn't in there. Ross Dwelly's supposed to be our receiving tight end. We don't ever throw him the ball. He's super slow. Like, we got really good running backs when they're healthy. I can't imagine CMC is going to be healthy all season, but I'd really like to see him make it through the whole year. I'd like to see him go 1,000 receiving, rushing. That would be who I would say maybe on the offense who should step up. But how can you ask the guy to step up when he already brought everything to the table last year? So I think like what we've already said is like Debo's kind of stepped back. If he could step up a little bit, that would be great. But I like kickers and special teams. So I tell you, Beto, I think if Moody comes in and he's the guy we think he is, I think that's going to put us over the top. So that's my answer.
Besides quarterback, they put a lot of points on. People don't realize that kickers. I wouldn't say so much about punters, but kickers are very important, because you never think about a kicker until he misses that winning field goal. They can advance you in the playoffs or take you to the Super Bowl. Or if you don't think a kicker is important, go talk to Buffalo Bills back when they lost to the Cowboys, or the Giants on a missed field goal. So Kickers
Or how about
matter.
when the Giants? How about when the Giants beat us for the three-peat when Roger Craig fumbled?
Oh,
You know, I mean, like, how important are they? Or go ask Tom Brady if he likes kickers. I mean, so yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. David, your offensive player, my friend, your offensive player that you think that could step up and help. And when I say step up, I'm not saying they were not good last year. Just step up and say, take that leadership role and says, I'm going to put you guys on my shoulder. Let's go.
I want to see Debo Samuel have another 1,400-yard receiving season.
Come on now.
You know, uh, he can do it, and he did that with James Richard Garoppolo, who's limited at QB
James,
at
I love it.
QB. So,
Collins
and
government name.
with Brock Purdy, Trey Lance, or even Sam Darnold, he needs to call Ghostbusters. But with any of those guys in there, Debo is perfectly capable of doing this. So that's my guy.
Awesome. What about you there, Mr. Pete?
I mean, y'all named all the whole offense already. Like,
Who's left?
but I really agree with Terradome. I'll be perfectly honest. I think that McKivitz, whoever is at that right tackle spot at the end, even though they've said that right tackle, he's pretty much got a stranglehold on that position. They said today, and I mean it's only OTAs, but I think that it's that right tackle spot, and I'm not really convinced that it's really the offensive line that needs to be upgraded per se, because I think we really had a good offensive line last year. I think that a lot of Kyle's offense is predicated around risk and reward, and he is going to let free rushers go. Like, I mean, it's timing based, and he spoke on it, and it sounded like he was throwing Purdy under the bus when he got hurt. But I mean, it's the truth. Like, if he had thrown the ball a couple of ticks earlier, like when he was supposed to, it probably would none of that would have happened. Like, his arm wouldn't have been ripped off like the way that it was. So I mean, I think that is McKivitz or anybody that we have in house really going to help what happened. That was a tight end that was supposed to make that block.
Yep.
So it's I don't necessarily think that. I think McKivitz is going to be serviceable there. I've got a, but I would like for him to overachieve. And then I agree with David also about Debo. I think that Debo needs to show up this season. I think that he had a down year last year because of multiple reasons. And I mean, the reality is he didn't come in shape. He wasn't in shape to start the season. He got hurt early. And then when he came back, they embraced the wide back stuff again, which honestly is unnecessary at this point. You've got CMC, you've got Jordan Mason back there averaging 6 yards a carry that can't even get touches, and then you've got, but Debo, and we saw that it was brought up on multiple tape that he's just being lazy on routes. And I don't think that he's doing the necessary things to get better as a route runner. And I would like to see him improve in that area. I want to see him be a more traditional receiver, because we've seen if he can get into that secondary, one guy isn't going to tackle him. So it's if he can get into that secondary and that second level and into the third, it's pretty much. I mean, it's a foregone conclusion. 1,400 yards. I think that's a big reason why he had 1,400 yards. So I think they need to really concentrate on his route running, getting him more involved in the passing offense, and not so much behind the line of scrimmage. But those are my two. I give you two.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. You guys pretty much brought up a lot of the players that I thought. I'm with the offensive line too. We all talking about Brock Purdy. We're all talking about Trey Lance. Who should start? Should it be Sam Darnold? Does it really matter if your freaking right tackle is getting killed? Who you start back there? You got to protect whoever's back there. Mobile quarterbacks like Trey. You got to have a guy. Now McKivitz, I don't think he's better than McClinchy, but I don't think he's that much of a drop off either. For what I heard earlier about Chris Forrester, he said that Fisher, the undrafted free, he's going to play only guard. He does not see him playing tackle at all. and he doesn't see Joe Feliciano playing tackle either, just guard or center. So I'm wondering who in the heck does he see playing behind McKivitz at tackle? If those,
Hey Beto, they what's his name? Passed up. Who was the guy that was backing up Trent last year? Man, just lost his name.
Jalen Moore.
Jalen Moore got passed up on the depth chart for left tackle by this other guy they brought in this year.
Yeah, Jalen Moore.
Matt Pryor.
Matt Pryor.
It wasn't Matt Pryor.
No?
It was another guy, Leroy something.
Oh, that's
Leroy
right.
Watson.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he got passed up by Leroy Watson for the left tackle. Like, as far as reps go in OTAs, like who knows what's going to be. But I mean, you got Matt Pryor and you've got the other Jalen Moore. Still, Jalen Moore. I mean, it's not looking good for him. But go ahead.
No.
That
That's fine. It isn't.
He doesn't have good feet. We seen that in preseason last year. He's not.
Yeah, I'd rather go with McKivitz. You don't realize how good McKivitz is when you see Jalen Moore play, and you're like, put McKivitz.
It's like he's just standing still and he just watches the guy run right by.
Yes.
It even makes Mike McClinch look like a superstar. Like, oh no, when you see Jalen Moore, yeah, he's I'm pretty sure they're just using him as depth, and he's probably one of the guys that Chris Forrest does not want to go in there, and they drafted him. It was out of his control. They brought him, an experiment with him. I don't think he's going to plan out. And I wouldn't even be shocked if he gets cut this mini camp before the 53-man roster, because I don't know if you can even use him as a backup or cut him and then bring him back on the practice squad. It's not like nobody's going to be rushing to pick him up for sure. So you can do that. Now the guy for me, and we'll call it a show, is the guy that I'm really looking for it to step up this year. And I know a lot of people love Elijah Mitchell, but the kid cannot stay healthy if his life depended on it. I wish he could. He's trying to compete with Kinlaw, who can stay healthy and who can't. I want to see Jordan Mason be that 1-2 punch with Christian McCaffrey, that lightning and thunder. And I think Mason can step up. He looks a lot. He reminds me a lot of Lynch when he first came out, and not just because of the dreadlocks or the number 24, just the style that he plays
runs
with.
angry.
Yeah,
stance.
I don't want nobody's going to stop me. Nobody's going to take me down. I like that attitude, and I wouldn't be surprised if he packs his what's his name, the one we drafted. And real quick, no more damn running backs. I'd rather take kickers each and every time in the third round over running backs. No more running backs in the third round, please.
No. Watch out for Kalen LeBourne. Watch out for Kalen LeBourne.
I heard a lot of good things about him. I'm interested to see him.
TDP might be looking over his shoulder at Kalen LeBourne.
It's like you hear Trey Sermon over there saying, "Yep, paybacks." TDP's like, "Sorry, you got to get cut," and now Sermon is over there in Philly saying, "Your ass is next." I hope that's not the case, but LeBourne, I heard that he's a big guy, man. He just I don't know if he doesn't run well within the tackle or he's not a good outside guy. I forgot what his flaws are that has to be worked on. But at the end of the day,
he was undrafted.
Yeah, the undrafted.
Yeah, he was undrafted. He had a lot of issues in college. Like he had a lot.
He has to be
unfortunate
definitely work with
injuries too. Like he had injury. Like almost twisted his knee off. So
crap.
But they're saying that he's showing tremendous burst. I don't know what they did, what kind of glue they used to tape him back together. But
I wonder if the same glue they used for Frank Gore when he came out of Miami.
It could be. Because they said he does a really good job catching balls out of the backfield, and he has a really quick cut. He has really quick cutting ability. So that's.
And I want to we'll end it with this. I want to bring this guy up. I heard so much. I know we heard a lot about the rookies and the Willis from Oklahoma is going to be great at tight end. But I've been hearing great things about Ronnie Bell, the receiver out of Michigan. This kid catches everything thrown his way. Yeah, that's right. I forgot you're Wolverine.
He got clotheslined today in practice.
Oh, did he?
by
Who got him?
Lenore.
Lenore had
Lenore.
enough of that shit. He's like, stop! You're not gonna make me look bad.
Yeah,
Your name on me.
Yeah,
But I heard he catches everything. I heard he's been very impressive. And
Hearing the same
all I
thing.
gotta say is that kid, what's his name, Ray Ray. I love your hair, bro, but you better watch out because someone might be taking your job. Martin's, I forget. I don't. People say Martin's in the competition too. That kid's he's nothing but a practice squad material. I'm sorry. So I don't
But
think
see,
Juwan Jennings.
Ray Ray's a special teamer too. So, you
Yeah.
got that dynamic going for you. Do you think that Ronnie Bell can
Ronnie.
can
They
spell
talked
some
about him
special
today.
teams?
He does a really good special
They
teams.
talked
yeah.
about him today. What's his
Really?
name? The special teams coach. Talked
Yeah.
about him
Schroeder or
today in
yeah.
special teams. They had him returning punts, and they said he's a natural punt returner.
Oh,
He doesn't
See,
have the
if they're
speed.
doing that,
he
they're
doesn't have the
keeping-
speed like that. He doesn't have the speed like that. I think he's going to be a good special teamer. I'm a Michigan fan. Like Ronnie Bell
is he biased?
is a steady guy that never really got a chance to show what he really can do because he played in Harbaugh's offense.
Real quick,
Like,
real quick, Pete. Not to interrupt you, but I do have a bone to pick with you. You are a Michigan fan, but I heard
Yeah.
one of your videos, and I do watch your videos, even though I don't comment a lot of times. You're upset that they took a kicker, even though he's from Michigan,
I know.
with that third one spot. What's up with that?
It's the value. It's not that I'm upset at the player.
I know.
It's the value. Like that's
But
all.
if he turns out to be a great kicker, look at we might lose a second running back that we took in the third.
It may not matter. It may not matter. Like, but in the moment when the draft is
Of
going
course,
on,
of course.
and you've got all these tackles. We just finished
Yes.
talking about tackles, and they're gonna say that there's not a fit, but we can't name a tackle that could even really compete with McKivitz. Like, you take a flyer on one of them. I don't care if they're not if they're a fit. You're telling me Jalen Moore was a fit? I don't think he was a fit. And Matt Pryor is a fit more than any of those guys that were coming out. I feel like they could have developed just like Aaron Banks wasn't a fit. He had to transform his body. So
Yes.
I take what they say with a grain of salt.
So you say they should have
And,
taken a flyer on a tackle. That's your statement, right? They should have taken a flyer.
that was my thing. I thought they should have gotten a tackle.
So my
Like,
question to
there
you
was
is this:
many tackles out there.
You support?
I like Jalen Duncan myself.
Okay,
I thought
but
that
these
he
guys
had
are
the upside.
flyers, though, right? They're not
Yeah,
guaranteed to make the
absolutely.
team. But you know that the kicker, especially you being a Wolverine, knowing how good so you honestly think? Do you believe that mentality that we could have brought in an undrafted kicker and he would just be as serviceable than Moody would be? Honestly, from your
I think so. What other kickers were I mean, this is the thing. How many kickers that were taken high? Actually, how many kickers were taken high in the first place?
2,
I think
3,
the Patriots.
Jake
No, I'm not
Moody.
talking about this year.
The
It was
Patriots.
just-
The
it
Patriots
was just us
actually
and the
traded
Patriots.
up for like
He's
13
talking- he's
spots
talking
to
in
get
general.
Chad Ryland.
The last one that was
So-
taken was Tampa Bay, and he was a
Are
bust.
we,
Like
are we
wild.
trusting the way that that Bill Belichick drafts? Because he's
Yeah,
a
that's
terrible draft.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But the
Aguayo was the
reality-
last kicker, bro, from the Buccaneers. They took a kid in the fourth round, and he was a bust.
Second round.
Or second
a
round.
I
majority
have
of
to
the great
point
kickers.
something
A
out.
majority of the great kickers were undrafted.
Hold on, Dave. I'll
So-
go to you in a minute. Yeah, go ahead, David.
Okay. All right. So the last time we drafted a kicker in the third round was 1994.
I know where you're
Doug
going.
Bryant.
I know where you're going.
How did that?
Could history repeat itself?
Yeah, we did go to the Super Bowl and win it.
It could. There's a lot of things that could happen. But
But it wasn't because of Brian,
though.
though.
Like I said, I wasn't mad at the player. I like Moody.
Well, I hope so. You're
it-
Wolverine.
Just the value at the time. I do all the little mock drafts, and I was mad because I felt like there was players that, and I don't really like drafting for need, but I thought that there was players there with talent that could have been developed just like all the rest of the guys. Cameron Latu. I wasn't happy about Cameron Latu either, and we'll see what he ends up being. But it is what it is. He's on the team now. I'm rooting for Moody because he's got to be good now. because now he doesn't just have the pressure of being good on a really good team. He's got the pressure of being a 3rd-round pick kicker.
And Brian's really polite. He's he's lifting up his hand like he's in school. This is real world, bro. You just got to jump in with the sharks, bro.
Okay, so like what David said, Doug Bryan, he was drafted 3rd overall by the 49ers. We went on to win a Super Bowl. We've had 2 other good kickers in between that, and we lost Super Bowls. But what's funny is like Robbie Gould, right? Who do you think he replaced in the NFL? Doug Bryan. So he replaced Doug Bryan in Chicago, and now Moody is replacing, right? So we have the blessing. Full circle in a sense, right? We have the blessing of Robbie Gould because Robbie Gould trained with Jake Moody. So if Robbie Gould didn't look at the Niners and say, "Hey, pick this guy," because that's what they've already said is he's given their blessing and said, "Hey, this is the guy you should go after." Robbie Gould might be retiring this year. We don't know. He's still not signed yet. I like Robbie Gould. I think he's a really good player, but they are moving on. So for people to get upset with it being a 3rd-round pick, it's not really a 3rd-round pick. It's a 4th-round pick. It's an early 4th-round pick, right? It's a comp pick. This is a free pick. And then you have to look at it too. This guy's going to walk on and start. If he doesn't start, it's because Zane Gonzalez can hold his groin together this year. He's had a major injury the last year. That's why we got Zane Gonzalez for nothing. Absolutely nothing. It was basically a swap pick for next year. So, yeah, we traded, a 7th round or a 5th-round pick for Zane Gonzalez. He's our kicker camp leg. Jake Moody comes in.
If we cut him, we don't lose that pick, just to let you know.
Yeah. It's basically a free pick, so for Jake Moody to come in and win the job or get the job, he's probably going to be our kicker for like 10 years. And I've heard the clap back about, okay, so kickers don't get taken high and stay on a team for very long, or they'll get traded. Okay, Janikowski didn't. And, sure, what he just said about Tampa Bay, that kicker got heckled in camp, and maybe he had a confidence issue. But a lot of kickers, they can either stay with the team will develop them, believe in them. Kickers miss. Everybody misses. Quarterbacks throw interceptions. So you have to believe in a player before you just totally cut him. But if the guy's just coming out and shanking it every time, I told David already, we'll draft another kicker next year. I'm actually really excited about the kick because I kind of predicted the Niners are going to take a kicker at 99. I threw it out there a couple times, and David will tell you, Brian got kind of crazy with it. And I said, well, what if they took it? And my logic answer to everybody is they took him because they literally thought he was the best player on their board. They started looking at the draft board from the bottom up and started saying, okay, who can we get? They did draft tackles, undrafted free agent tackles. We did get a fullback undrafted. We got a lot of undrafted free agents. So they're just going to plug these players in and they're going to make them work where they can make them work. For people to say, oh, well, at least we didn't take a running back. The last 2 running backs we've taken in the 3rd round are going to basically be off the team. Is it because they were designed or drafted in mind to be with a certain quarterback? Well, that quarterback's not starting right now, or he will start. We still have one guy on the team. He's either not going to be on the team or he's going to fit the scheme. So it's really hard to say a kicker ain't going to come in and fit the scheme right now when this team is solid at almost every position. To take a player like another tight end, are you going to make George sit down? We can't keep taking a bunch of wide receivers. I mean, Debo, Ayuk. I mean, we just re-signed Jennings. We do have Ronnie Bell. Is he going to make the team? We got guys from the XFL. So, yeah, taking a right tackle would have been great, but they also take players in years before, and they've taken guards and moved them over to right tackle, or they've taken guards and moved them to, center. So for them to say this isn't what we want, I'm going to trust the process. I heard reports that they didn't like the tackles because their arms were too long or too short, but then they go and take 2 in the undrafted free agent. So again, I totally understand what you're saying, Pete. I'm not, you got a great opinion and it's good. I see the same perspective, but for them to take a kicker, I wasn't super mad. I wasn't, because I'm like, hey, this guy's going to come on our team and start. So thank you, Beto. Thank you, everybody, for letting me talk.
Of course, Brian. You're passionate about your kicker, bro. I hope he don't kick you in the ass and make you look bad and loses the job to the
draft another one, right?
What happens if he loses the job to the kid that we brought in? That'll be terrible.
I heard Gonzalez was giving him, a pretty good.
Let's be honest. If Gonzalez
wins a competition.
If he wins the competition, do you think they still go with Moody because of where they took him?
Yeah, you got to go with.
I do.
That's what
I
that's
do.
kind of what the NFL does. You're afforded more opportunity, more leeway, more latitude. If you're drafted, it just
Well,
is.
tell that to Trey. He might lose it to a seventh
Yeah.
rounder.
I would say that the 49ers
He
are
might be
one
an
of the few
outlier,
teams
right?
that don't pay attention to
Good
that.
shot, but
I would think that the 49ers are usually the one team in the league that doesn't really pay attention to like where they were drafted. They've
Yeah,
said
Kyle
many
doesn't
times.
care.
Yeah, they've said many times that the draft position is just how you get in the league.
yes, sir.
Once you get there, it's your job to figure out how to stay there.
Exactly.
And
that's
like
Pete Carroll.
it's the way it should be.
Like that as well.
Yeah, Pete Carroll. You might hate the Seattle Seahawks, but Pete Carroll
but-
is
yeah.
great at that.
My cousin played for Seattle, man, and I talked to the guy.
My condolences.
Cam Chancellor and guys I really like from Virginia, man. When I would talk to the players and stuff, he said, "Man, now your cousin's gonna ball, man, because Pete, okay, my cousin was undrafted, free agent, and he said, "Nah, man, now around here, man, Pete lets you ball. It's a competition, and he don't care." Remember they got a quarterback from
from Green Bay, Matt.
Yeah, and they played him Flynn.
Matt Flynn.
Matt Flynn,
Yeah, Matt Flynn.
And they brought Russell Wilson in the third round, and he beat him out.
Yeah, Russell Wilson was a third round flyer, and Flynn went packing. It's all about who can ball.
And that's the way it should be. If you're going to be a good head coach, at the point that you can swallow the pill of giving up too much draft or picking somebody at a certain spot in the draft, but it's harder to let go of someone that is really going to help your team over a draft guy just because he was drafted high. You got to see what makes your team, who's going to help your team win, who's going to help your team get to where you're trying to get, and it's ultimately to a Super Bowl. And if it's a 7th round pick and Broad Purdy over a 3 given up first rounds for Trey, I'm telling you, at this point, Trey has to play way better than Brock to win that job back. And I know there's a lot of Trey guys out there that are really rooting for him, and I hate to see the kid not get a chance. But when you get a taste of what you've seen in Brock, how can you how can you turn a blind eye to that? How can you sit there act like you didn't see that?
Act like you didn't see it. It's like stricken that from the record. Like
real quick, what game was it? I think it was against. It was Tampa Bay.
Into this flashy thing, like on Men in Black.
yeah, Tampa Bay, right? What was it? Where he almost threw an interception and the guy dropped it, or it was a penalty, and the interception was taken back. What did Kyle do? He called up a long pass to Ayuk for a touchdown. The play after that. He was not. If Jimmy would have thrown that interception, it would have been called back because we would have been running the ball 4 or 5 times. The fact that he went right back to the passing game with Brock shows you how much confidence Kyle has in Brock and that he can do it. So and if you find your guy, it's hard to let it go, man. It's like real quick. I just want to bring this comment up from Mr. Javier Rio, longtime listener. He's a big Jimmy G fan, and he wants him back on the Niners. I put foots in his ass, and with him and his foot situation, he's lucky if he's going to play for the Raiders. Now I want him. I don't care if he plays for the. I just want him to pass his physical, and I heard he didn't. So hopefully in September he does pass because I want the comp pick. That's what I want for Jimmy, that comp pick. Other than that, I don't care what Jimmy does over there. But no, he's not coming back here, bro. Nothing wrong with Jimmy. Jimmy did a lot for us, helped us win some games. Not all the games. The defense carried him, but some games he won, like the New Orleans Saints game in 2019 he won. But come on. When you go to the Super Bowl and the NFC Championship and you throw for how many passes did he throw in that game?
In the Super Bowl, I think it was
no, not that Super Bowl. The NFC Championship against Green Bay. He threw
wasn't that like 8
passes?
Yeah,
I think it was 8.
8 passes, bro. I don't care how good of a running team you have. I don't care how much you can run. 8 passes. You're gonna sit there and tell me there was no opportunity to do something different. it had to be run after run after run. It was so bad with Jimmy. He didn't trust Jimmy, and he doesn't trust Jimmy. He trusts his
He
Brock.
tried to say after that game that, well, what I didn't feel like I needed to pass the ball anymore. I was like, come on, Kyle. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, I know that's what he's got to say, but still, like,
Let's
say hello to the
Yeah.
fake Remilia Sports. We know this is not the real one. This is what's his name? Brian
Fierce Niner five.
Steve-O?
Steeble. Yeah, this is Steeble.
Is it?
Yeah, because I have Rudy's number on my cell, and I have multiple texts. Hey, Rudy, is that you on the chat? Rudy says no, and he's in there talking away. So nice try, Steeble. Although Steeble keeps it respectful, he's never disrespectful. But come on, bro, you can't hate your name that bad that you have to use somebody else's.
And I can't confirm if this is him or not because we've had talks. I think there could be a Jim Everett or a marketing
I got you.
But we all he
But
definitely.
this
has
is the
some,
rep he got though, because he started doing that. You got to. I'm sorry if it's not him, but when the rep, when you do stuff like that and lie, and things happen, you cry wolf. Now ain't nobody going to believe you. So don't cry wolf.
But hey, real quick, we all, Beto, where I'm from, I'm Stockton, and I think you've heard about this college before. I think we all, as faithful, have known about this college before because it was a training camp for the Niners at one time. UOP, home of the Pacific Tigers. You know what we have in common with Pete Carroll?
He used to be our DC
coach.
He was a DC.
Oh, for the Niners, yeah.
No, he was a DC for the Tigers.
Oh, was he? That I didn't know. I know he was. I know he was with the Niners, but I don't know he was the first.
I know he coached down there, and he coached at USC, and he's been around and stuff like that. But he first started coaching at UOP, so I thought that was really cool.
Wow.
So small world.
Yeah, I like.
I was thinking they had a chewing gum factory or something.
First you did the kicker verse. Now you're doing this coacher verse.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian likes those. Brian fights for those that are overlooked, and like the unpopular kid in school that sits up by himself and eats his own lunch.
Sometimes if you're overlooked, you just gotta figure out where to look too. So I've had glasses my whole life. I definitely gotta pipe up because if I don't pipe up, then I don't hear anybody.
If anybody that knows me back in high school, I used to always fight bullies. I can't stand bullies, and I used to watch these bullies try to take money away from kids, bully their way with the smaller kids, and I'm like, no. You want to fight? I probably got my butt kicked most of the time, but if I'm going to challenge you. You sit there, and I don't know if you guys ever watched that movie, Tombstone. You guys ever watched Tombstone?
Yeah.
Where
Doc Holliday.
With Doc Holliday, where what's the name goes into the bar in the beginning, he confronts Billy Bob. And Billy Bob sitting at the table, and Billy Bob, trying to be this tough guy that nobody can kick him out. And I'm trying to think of the name of that. Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell. He goes in there and just tells him, "Are you going to sit there?" He slaps him. He goes, "Are you going to sit there and pull that wagon or just bleed?" He called him out on a fake. That's what I'm trying to get. He called him out on a, a lot of these bullies that pick on people. They're just a bunch of fake. They don't know how to fight, but they like to pick on the weaker guys. So I'm very I always to come to the defense. So whenever I saw that, bro, my friends would be like, "Dude, it's not your fight. Leave it alone." I go, but if somebody can't fight for them, if they can't fight for themselves, somebody needs to. And I got kicked out of school so many times.
I did the same thing. Hey, Beto, what's your birthday?
August 9, 70. I'm a 70s kid.
I'm a 70s guy too. Yeah.
Oh, okay, 70. Yeah. Who's older, me or you? I'm August 9.
February 10.
Oh, and then you are old fart.
1970?
Yeah, 70.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
70.
What about you, Pete?
Oh, I'm 77.
I knew you were younger. You just, you just have that, that businessman look. David,
you're Tom Brady's age.
Yeah, David, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 46. I'm also 1977.
Okay, 76. Right. Wow. And Brian's probably what, like 96?
86, Bubba.
Dude, that's the year I graduated. I graduated 87. When did you graduate, Terry?
Yeah, I was like junior year, 89.
Yeah,
From
and then I was 88. That's right. So long ago, I
yeah,
forget.
95.
yeah. I love
like,
seventh
I
grade so
graduated
much I
95.
did it twice.
95.
I love. Hey, I like preschool so much. I did it twice. I used to. My first language was Spanish, which I'm already forgetting it because I don't have nobody to really talk to it. But my first language is Spanish,
Yeah.
and then English. Right. I used to talk both English and Spanish mixed. And my mom decided to keep me back in preschool one more year, or kindergarten. Was one of those, and I'm like, man. So I was a little bit of a late bloomer. My wife says she can't understand me Spanish or English, but that's a whole different conversation. My nose has been broken 4 times, so I have that muffleness
Yeah.
to my voice. But
You
guys,
did it playing football?
I played football. Yeah, never got broken. I've been broken twice with a bat, and one with the door. You know the old school doors in elementary, with the
Yeah.
big ass old school doors. They can break somebody's skull off. While I was walking behind the door, and it opened up for recess, and the kids just flew the door open to run out, and boop, hit me. And then the fourth one, I got hit with a baseball ball, the ball. So it was right in the nose. So 2 baseball bats, but the baseball but wasn't playing baseball. It was doing things I shouldn't have been doing, gang related. The baseball itself was baseball. But anyway, you guys have been amazing. We got to do this again, guys. We got to do
For sure.
kind of hang out. I'm gonna let you guys go. I know I said an hour, and it's already like 5 hours later. My apologies. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you for hanging out. Everybody in the chat, you guys are the true troopers hanging in there with us, commenting with us and one another. You guys are the best. Until the next time, we'll see you. Peace. Hold on, guys. You guys are the best.